going to demonstrate how to create a Photoshop action. Photoshop actions are very powerful and are effectively used when performing the same task over and over and over again on a multitude of photographs. For example, say that you wanted to add a torn edge to a set of 15 photographs, and rather than going through and meticulously performing the exact same steps to all 15 photographs, you could record an action that included those steps and then batch process that 15 photographs, applying the newly recorded action. In this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how to build a quick action that saves all of these photographs in a new size, size of 900 by 600 pixels. So the first step is opening the photograph, obviously. And with the photograph open, the next step is making sure that your Actions palette is visible. And that is done by going up to Window, down to Actions. And here it is, our Actions palette. I'm going to drag this palette out so that it's kind of off on its own. And down in the bottom of this tray are several icons. Hovering over these icons will tell you what they mean. They're a little counterintuitive because the red stop, this little what looks like a stop sign, is actually the begin recording. This is to play an action, this is to create a new action set, and this is to create a new action. So the first step, obviously, is we want to create a new action. So I'm going to click this icon and give our new action a name. I have a set that I've already created. I'm going to save that into a resize set and click record. So what's happening now is Photoshop is recording my steps. Nothing's happening in terms of the recording as I move around or as I click these menus. And you can see here in the Actions palette that nothing's happened. Nothing's happened below our new action. You'll notice that as soon as I perform or execute a step, that a feature is added or a step is recorded in our Actions palette. So the first thing I'm going to do is go up to Image, Image Size, and I'm going to type in the dimensions that I want for the width. Now obviously you want to make sure that your resample image is selected. If it's not, the pixel dimensions area is not selectable. We're going to type in 900 pixels wide, which defaults to 600 pixels high because of the orientation of this photograph. I want a resolution of 72 dpi. Now if you wanted these for print, obviously you'd want that resolution to be 300 dpi. However, this action is going to be created so that these images are sized properly for the web. So I'm going to click OK. Our image is sized now. You'll notice that in the Actions palette we have a new action that's been recorded. If I twirl that arrow down, you can see that a width of 900 pixels has been applied with the constrained proportions set. Now the next step is simply saving this photograph, this image. So I'm going to go up to Save As. I'm going to select the Resize folder. Now you want to create a new folder set on your hard drive so that you don't save over the photographs that are in their original form. So I'm going to save this photograph to the resized folder. I want it to be a JPEG file. I want to embed the color profile of Adobe RGB 1998. Then I'm going to click Save. The JPEGs option dialog box opens, and I want a quality of 9. 8 or 9 is just fine for the web. You're not going to see too much JPEG artifacting. And going above that to 10, 11, or 12 is adding file size that's not necessary. So we can see that our file size is about 70 kilobytes. All of the default settings are left as is. And I'm going to click OK. Again, a step has been recorded in our Actions palette. And finally, I'm going to close this photograph. I'm going to go up to File, Close, or Command W. And lastly, it records that step as well. And that's important because if you're doing a batch process, you want your photographs to be closed when you're done so that you don't have to go through and close all of those images. So the last step is stopping your recording, and that's by simply clicking the square. Your recording is stopped, it's been saved and created. So now here's the next step, and this is the fun part. I'm going to go to Adobe Bridge, where I have a set of photographs already in my window. And what's great about Bridge is it allows you to access these newly saved actions. So I'm going to select all of these images. I'm going to go up to Tools, down to Photoshop, and to Batch. And what that does is it opens the Batch dialog box. From this dialog box, we can select the set from which we recorded. I can select the action that I want to apply to these photographs. In this case, we know that it's the resize 900 pixels wide. I'm going to leave these deselected for now, but if you had a bunch of images and you had suspicion that there might be some color profile warnings or other issues that would pop up, as they could become kind of annoying, so you'd want to check those boxes, so just that you would ignore those. However, I know that that's not going to be an issue, so I'm going to leave them unchecked for this particular situation. I'm going to save them. I'm going to override my action save as commands. And now what this does, if you select it, you'll notice that when this option is on, files will be saved to the destination folder only by save as steps in the action. Now we know that we've recorded a save as step in our action. So if there are no save as or save steps in this action, no files will be saved. So it's important to remember that. But I created a save as step in the action, so I want this selected. I'm going to leave these as document name. I'm going to leave them as so. You can change those as you see fit. It's up to you how you want to use these labeling areas. The next thing is to choose the hard drive or the place on your hard drive where you want to save your files. In this case, I want to save it to my resized folder. I'm going to click Choose. And finally, I'm going to click OK. You can see that these files are opening quickly, being saved as a new size, and then being closed. And that's all because of the steps recorded in our actions. And there you have it. We just saved 8 photographs in a new size. And here they are in our resize dialog box. How can I confirm that? Well, I can select an image, and over here in our metadata, we can see that our dimensions are 900 by 600. So that's how you create an action for Photoshop. And remember, they're powerful, and they can do actions in Photoshop can do any number of things. So explore them, play around, and try applying them to the techniques and processes that you routinely apply to your photographs.